Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gotham Graffiti Podcast. My name is Scott, this is my cousin Gunnar, and thank you so much for joining us today. We actually have a really fun show.
Big week.
Yeah, big week. So we're going to be going over Deadpool and Wolverine, some brief news in between, and then we are doing verses, but we're going to be, again, changing things up a lot different than we did last week. I know we just basically swapped out a category, but we're completely reorganizing the way we're going to be doing verses, and possibly that'll be what we do continuing into the future. But to very quickly get into it, last night, me and Gunnar, we went and watched Deadpool 3 in theaters.
Yes, we did.
And we're going to talk about it right now. So, first of all, we're going to start with our non-spoiler review. That'll be a couple of minutes, and I will put the timestamp that you can skip to when we start talking about,
We'll tell you when we're about
Yes.
to start talking about spoilers, and he'll put a
Yes.
time marker saying when it's
Yes,
skipped to.
so I'll flash that up on the screen whenever we get to that point.
Before we get into anything, though, we both had the... Oh, wait, I can't say which cameo. We had a cameo ruined for us on TikTok.
Yes.
It wasn't... I won't say it was one of the major ones, but it was a significant one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to really quick, if you're the person that before a big movie or a game or whatever it is, just posts a clip or a picture of a frame with no spoiler warning, no frame picture before saying what it is. I saw the one I saw, there were people in the comments dude, what are you doing, man? We haven't seen. And he goes, well, I put spoiler in the comments. Well, that doesn't matter because I can see what's on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So just really quick, if you're one of those people, don't be one of those people.
Yes.
Have some, as in the South we would say, have some couth.
Mm-hmm.
Be respectful to others and them wanting to go see the movie as well. Just don't do that.
Yes, because funny enough, I had it spoiled for me a day before he had it spoiled.
Yeah.
And
no, I had it spoiled for me the day we went and saw it. Yours was on Tuesday or Monday.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I got it spoiled in a couple of days, and I was telling him yeah, there's a pretty good cameo that I know you're gonna enjoy. And then that day before we went and saw the movie, he saw it as well. So yeah,
Yes.
if there's a major movie coming out and there's gonna be, just don't spoil it. I don't know why we're still doing that.
Just don't be that guy.
Just don't be that guy. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into kind of our overall non-spoiler thoughts about the movie. So I'll go ahead and kind of start here. First of all, this movie is a lot of fun. I remember one of the main things I told him whenever we left the theater when we were in the car is that it feels good to leave a Marvel movie and there not be glaring problems with the movie and actually just being able to sit down and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. That's what this movie is. And I'm not going to say oh, the MCU is back. I don't know if it is or not. But I mean, it is definitely a step in the right direction for not only just the MCU as a whole, but Deadpool as well. Man, I don't really know what else to say without actually spoiling the movie. It's going to be really difficult.
I've got some specific non-spoiler notes. Do you want me to
go
over those?
you go ahead. Let me see if I can come up with something.
Yeah, so I thought everything was done really well. The biggest compliment I can give without going into details of the film, I thought two of the most underrated things I think in filmmaking nowadays and in movies was done so well was the runtime and pacing. This movie does not drag one time.
Yeah.
And it's not too long. It's when it was done, it was I'm assuming you felt the same way. As soon as it was done in the theater, it was okay, good, that felt good. I didn't feel like I just decayed in a movie theater for 3 hours. It was fun. It felt good. The pacing was great. And let's go grab some food now. It was the perfect runtime. The second thing being the soundtrack.
Yes.
The soundtrack
actually, that was a note that I
the
had.
soundtrack was very not saying in the same music vibe, but just an idea. It was gave me the same kind of vibes as the first Guardians soundtrack.
Yes.
Where just the soundtrack complemented the movie so
And even
well.
added comedic value depending on what song they chose for the specific scene that they were in.
And when they played Green Day at the end of the credits, it was just
Yeah.
oh man. Yeah, it's a very good soundtrack. I also had, as a Wolverine fan, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. This is I think this is the closest we'll ever get. If you grew up on the 97 well, that's the new one. They're calling it 97. If you grew up on the 90s X-Men animated series, if you watched X-Men 97, if you grew up reading the Frank Miller run in the early 2000s Wolverine, like, this is as close as you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves and sings the praises of Logan, which is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, and it's great, but it's not, it's Old Man Logan. It's essentially Old Man Logan, just with some different story beats. But this was, like, not just and I'm not just saying that because he got his yellow and blue suit. I'm saying that in the way he fights, the way he moves, the way he talks, the way he reacts. Like, this was Wolverine. This was Wolverine. But yeah, other than that, and then also I just said, obviously Ryan Reynolds was spectacular as Deadpool. Yeah. He's easily a top 5 comic book casting of all time.
Yes.
He nails it. He really hits. I mean, his comedic timing and just voice cadence delivery is amazing. So, other than all that,
I had 2 things because since you've been talking, 2 non-spoiler things I can say about the movie.
Okay.
With the past Deadpool movies, all of them, the way I can usually describe them is like hilarious yet heartfelt. That is still very much present in this movie. The jokes are hilarious. You're going to be laughing throughout the entire thing, but there is still like a good story to be told. And like, even though, yes, there is the comedic value of that story, but it is still definitely there and like I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to cry in the movie theater because that's not what's going to happen. But like, there is still a good heartfelt story to be told. And also, I'm not going to tell you who's fighting, but like the fight scenes in this movie are actually choreographed very well. Like there were several times throughout the movie where it throughout the various fights in the movie where we'd be like, like I can't believe
it's done very well.
It's very just like, oh man, that looked like it really hurt.
There's we won't tell you what it is, but the second Deadpool and Wolverine fight is money.
Yes.
It's money.
Okay. All that being said, I'll go ahead and put the timestamp that you can skip to down below, but we're now going to be talking about spoilers for the movie. So this is your warning now. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't want it spoiled for you.
Gambit shows up.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it yet. Yes, Gambit shows up. So yeah, you want to talk about that?
If you watch the channel, dude, you know how hyped I was about that.
Yeah.
That was one of those, and when we did when we did our 3 cameos we would like to have seen episode like 2 weeks ago, I threw out Gambit as like, it's not going to happen, but it'd be sweet to see Channing Tatum as Gambit. He walked in, dude, I freaked out.
Yeah.
He had the Cajun accent. I mean, it was perfect. It didn't feel forced. He had the cadence and just everything about Channing Tatum's Gambit was perfect. I want to see more of him. I've been on social media all day looking at it. Everybody's saying the same thing. Like, can we please get Channing Tatum as Gambit? They gave him a comic accurate suit. They didn't try and modernize the Gambit look.
They gave him the headdress.
You know what? Actually, I'll say they modernized it while honoring the look. Because like he doesn't have like blue boots,
right?
But like they still kept true to the character. He's still got the purple breastplate and everything else, and the collar. The whole deal. And they really do a great job of showing for the small amount of time that you do see Gambit fighting, like. I guess I'll ask you this as someone who isn't really a Gambit fan, but can enjoy the character. Did you really know how competent he was as a fighter until you watched that?
Well, I had seen X-Men 97, so
that's right. You watched that with me. I forgot. Okay, if you hadn't watched, like, pretend you hadn't seen that.
Well, I prior to that, all I know is that Gambit was really good with playing cards, and he had a bow staff. That was pretty much all I
but
knew.
you're seeing him just
it was. Dudes. Well, he even asked me. He was like, "What was your favorite cameo?" I was like, "Well, it'd have to be Gambit, because like that was I mean, yes, we got Elektra, from the Daredevil movie, and we got Blade, which was really cool to see.
Oh, he was so good. Wesley Snipes has still got it, dude.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes has still got
it. Which was really cool. But I mean, the Gambit was like, wow, this is actually really, really well done and really cool. And like, I've never really seen Gambit other than the 97 one where he's taking care of business.
He's getting stuff done.
Yeah.
I thought, I did think it was interesting, and we'll get into actual like talks here. We were just nerding out for a second. But I did think it was very interesting. We talked about last night. If you noticed in the movie, Wesley Snipes' Blade, we all know the issues that have been going on with Marshala Ali's Blade project. It was going to be a movie, then it was going to be a show. I think it's back to being a movie. They still haven't really figured out where it's going. And Wesley Snipes says in the movie, there's always and forever only going to be one blade.
Yeah.
And it seemed like a very specific choice of dialogue, so take that for what you will. I will say, I would be foaming at the mouth at a aging Wesley Snipes blade. That would be sick.
Yeah.
But okay. Now we'll actually go into like our thoughts about the movie and spoilers. So I'll let you go ahead and crack this one first.
Well, one of the things that was really cool. It was cool to see in the beginning whenever Deadpool was trying to go find another Logan. It was really cool to see all the different versions. Like we got like a true old man Logan. We got a very brief glimpse of whenever he fought the Hulk, that universe. We got to see Henry Cavill as Wolverine for about 8 seconds, which was hilarious and also really cool at the same time. What else did we get to see? With that
comic book accurate.
Look
at your little short king.
Oh yeah, where he's 5'3" or whatever it is.
No, dude. In the comics, Wolverine's he's 4'9", 4'10". He's like a small dude.
Oh man.
Or 5 foot flat. In comic accurate, he's a very small man.
Yeah. So we got to see Hugh Jackman be 4'11" at a bar, which was so funny. One of the things I can give this movie is it really felt like a love letter to the 20th Century Fox era of Marvel. They really. We got to, Sabretooth starting in the commercials, we got to see the one that got ruined for us, which was Johnny Storm.
Chris Evans,
Johnny Storm. That one was ruined for us, but he did, a really good job.
It was still great.
Yeah, it was still great to see him. We got to see the Juggernaut from the X-Men movies, various other smaller X-Men characters. One of my predictions kind of came correct, or two of them actually. We got to see the Hulk for a frame.
Technically got to see the Hulk.
Which it was...
Even though it was the shot of another movie that they just put in.
I was a little disappointed by that. I'm not going to lie. If any gripe I can give about the movie, that's probably the only thing I can think about, where it's I really wish we got to actually see
the Hulk.
Or even if it was a couple seconds of the Hulk.
Hopefully that was a tease for the future.
I hope so.
Hopefully
that was a tease for the future. So we technically got to see the Hulk for 0.3 seconds. And then I can't really say this one came correct because it's not technically the same character, but we got to see Professor X's
sister.
Was it twin sister? Which she's actually the main villain of the movie, which I wasn't expecting at all.
She did pretty well, actually.
She actually did a pretty good job. She did. She was very convincing as...
Is that Emma Roberts, by the way? Who is that? I recognized her and I couldn't figure it out. We'll say whoever it is so we don't look retarded. It's this. But
what else? Soundtrack was well done. We already went over that. Do you have anything that you would like to...
Yeah, other than the cameos for me... like I said, as a Wolverine fan, this is very similar where you're talking about a love letter. It's very similar to Matt Reeves' Batman, where when I watched Matt Reeves' Batman at 22 years old, I remember being in the theater and being like, this is what I've waited 22 years to see from my favorite character.
Right.
This was what I've waited 23 years to see from one of my favorite characters. The scene where him and Deadpool fight for the first time, and he's bear crawling over to him and then slides and slashes both of his guns at the barrel. I popped, dude. I popped hard. But there's so much of Wolverine in this that was done so well. We once again got to see an amazing arc of where you're talking about the heartwarming stuff. It's not just Deadpool's stuff is heartwarming.
Right.
The Logan Wolverine stuff is just as, if not more, to me personally.
Yeah. That scene where he's being... Because the thing about it is that the sister of Xavier can do the same thing. She reaches into the minds or whatever. And so there's a scene where she's reaching into the mind of Logan, and that version of Logan comes from a world where he went out and got drunk one night, and then when he came back, all the mutants had died because whatever went mutant hunting or whatever.
Well, it was the humans had finally decided to go kill the mutants, so they showed up and killed all the mutants.
And then after that, Logan went on a killing rampage of killing just because he was angry. but like seeing that and then seeing him like trying to come out of that and become a hero was like actually really cool.
It was a great redemption story.
Even as someone who's not like, I like Wolverine, but like I'm not like a diehard Wolverine fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was actually really cool to see, and I know like for you that was.
Oh yeah, I was. It was probably my favorite arc of the movie.
Yeah.
X-23 was great. Seeing, I feel like she kind of went under the radar because of the fact that we got to see all these other big cameos.
Right.
But she did great. I loved the little touch of in the end fight when she puts on the glasses that she was wearing as a young girl in Logan. That was a nice touch. I think everybody that one of the biggest things I can give this movie is everyone played their parts very well, and I don't mean like literally acting. I mean like the story of it. Everyone played their parts perfectly well. We got a great sample of Gambit. We got a great sample of Blade, Electro. Like everyone got their chance to shine. We got plenty of Deadpool and Wolverine stuff. This movie, if anything, has shown that white eyes on a mask can work. James Gunn doing the new Batman.
Yes.
Just maybe watch that and just copy and paste that over to whoever's going to be the next Batman because it looked so good. It looked so good.
We're talking about Wolverine's mask, by the way. He gets it in the last...
Yes, not Deadpool's, obviously. Wolverine puts his mask on and he's got the white, and it just looks like...
Yeah.
They even make a reference to Batman.
Well, it was actually really funny because I saw... After we went and watched the movie, somebody apparently, like, some special effects person, like, put Wolverine's mask on, like, the trailer shots, and one of the comments was like, hey, maybe just go watch the movie before you, like, try and do that. I thought that was really funny because he ends up getting it in the movie.
He ends up getting it anyway.
So it's like, calm down. He does get the mask at the end.
The other thing I can say just in closing is the only gripe I had, he had a gripe, I have a gripe. I was a little, if I'm being honest, I was a little let down by the Wolverine and Sabretooth fight.
Yeah.
It was kind of built up as this, like, we were going to get some really sweet fight, and then Wolverine just kind of one-shots him, and it's like, all right.
Chops off his head.
Like, that's cool, but that's not what I was expecting.
Right.
But it is what it is. And then the other thing I will say, I think this has one of the best climax endings in a comic book movie in probably the last 5 years. I thought the ending to this was done so well. It had the perfect mix of the heartfelt, heartwarming, feel good, and also the comedic factor between Logan and Wolverine.
Yes.
You have the satisfying payoff with the bad guys in the end. It just was all wrapped together with a bow on it perfectly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely love it. We won't go into too much more just because we also don't want to get into too many plot points, just so you can go see it for yourself.
Right.
But yeah, all that being said, we'll go ahead and give our final scores. So what was your final score for this movie out of 10?
I gave it a 9.
A 9. Okay, flat 9.
Flat 9.
Okay, I gave it a 9.2.
Okay.
I gave it a 9. I gave it a little bit more than a solid 9, only because I'm a Wolverine guy. So like, there some of that stuff kind of, and also Gambit. So it kind of gave it a little bit more of a notch. But we're in the same ballpark. So okay, awesome. So after that, we are going to go straight into the news that Scott was referring to at the beginning of the episode. The news that we got this week went a little bit under the radar. I think only because of the fact that Comic-Con's happening this week and Deadpool and Wolverine came out.
Yes.
But the Spawn movie got confirmed this week by Todd McFarlane. He posted a picture on, I believe it was Wednesday of this past week, a picture of the front cover of the script, and it's titled King Spawn, which if they're basing it off the King Spawn run that I did read a week on not too long ago, pretty excited.
Is King Spawn the one where he's like in the Old West? Is that?
No, that's Gunslinger Spawn.
Gunslinger Spawn. Okay.
So I guess I'll just, if you quickly want to just say what you think as a casual fan of the Spawn movie, and then I'll.
Well, I mean, I know that they made a Spawn movie, or they made 2 of them, didn't they? Like back in the 90s.
I think there actually might be 3.
Yeah, I've never seen them before. I've seen bits and pieces of the show, just like when he's watching it. As a casual fan, I do think Spawn has a really cool aesthetic, and I do have a very surface level knowledge about him. But I do think that this could be actually really interesting because, I mean, we just talked about it, Deadpool 3, like all the comic accurate things that we can do now with the special effects, and now that there's the kind of stigma of like not having something comic book accurate, like it has to be like edgy or whatever.
Right.
Like that's no longer a thing in our society. So I do think that this is a really cool opportunity for the character of Spawn to come back into the kind of, you know, cultural conversation. Like we can actually get like a true like adaptation iteration of Spawn, which would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, I'm pumped. The rumor mill is pretty strong. It's one of those things. It was confirmed like years ago, and we're assuming that this is currently who's going to play Spawn, but we don't know. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be Jamie Foxx.
Oh, I remember.
Jamie Foxx was like supposed to play Al Scott like I don't
like
know 8 years ago. It was a long time ago when this got talked about. I personally would like Michael. Excuse me. I personally would like Michael Jai White. I just think he's got a little bit more of the voice, and his fight choreography would be great. That being said, I think Jamie Foxx is the better actor.
Yeah.
I do think Jamie Foxx is the better. I say that because those are the two being talked about right now.
Right.
I do think Jamie Foxx is the better actor. So I think he'll pull it off phenomenally. I'm immensely excited, especially the fact that Todd McFarlane's doing it.
Yeah.
Like they didn't outsource and go get somebody else to do it. Like Todd McFarlane is doing the Spawn movie.
Because didn't in the movies back in the day, like they just had some random.
It was really poorly thrown together. It was a mess. So I'm really excited. Like you said, that I also think the Spawn movies suffered for at the time. It's just like you just couldn't really make a good Spawn movie in the 90s. It was just it's too hard. You can't, there's only so much of Spawn you can do using practical effects. You have to have the $1 million budget CGIs to do Spawn.
Right.
So I'm super excited for it. Like I said, if they're doing the King Spawn run or basing the story off that, or they're just taking that title because it's a sick title and it's popular in publication right now. Either way, I'm super pumped. Obviously, we will keep y'all updated with more news as it comes in. But yeah, man, I'm just, as a Spawn fan, I'm really excited that we're finally getting. It's funny because we were just talking about like a month ago how we were like, we need something with Spawn. Like something Spawn needs to come out.
And all of a sudden,
here we are. So yeah, as a Spawn fan, I'm pretty pumped. Hopefully, if anything, this will be a catapult for other indie characters to maybe get some big film releases, Invincible, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of just, we wanted to touch on that news really quickly. There's not a whole lot else to talk about it, but after that, we'll go straight into Read of the Week. All right, guys, so for this week's Read of the Week,
big, thick book.
I'm not even going to say what it is. You should know. Yeah, man, I mean, I'm so freaking excited about this book, guys. So, caveat, I know I talked about the first volume of the Lobo trade like 2 months ago. This is collected in this. However, this is the whole run. This is it. This is it. Now, that being said, also, let's just look at that spine. Look at that spine, dude. Think about how good that looks on my shelf. Think about how good this could look on your shelf. Look at this spine. Now, that being said, it does say Big Fraggin' Compendium 1, leaving, I'm assuming, the option that we're maybe going to get a second one at some point in time, which is other Lobo runs. But this is like classic Lobo. This is like the Lobo hunting the bounty on Santa Claus, and Lobo fighting Etrigan, and Lobo fighting Mullet Superman in the 90s, and when the devil tries to get Lobo to take a bounty out on God. It's the classic Lobo stories. This bad boy is retailing at $60 US and $80, golly, $80 Canadian.
Well, they're
glad I don't live there.
Well, their money is a little bit different than ours. So
I just glad I don't live in Canada.
Well,
in general,
I do too. I'm glad we don't live in Canada.
But anyway, yeah. So this is great. This is the back. I guess I should show you. I showed the cover and the spine. Here's the back. Yeah, this thing's huge, guys. I will tell you what the total number of pages is. The only gripe I have with this is that they didn't number the pages, ironically enough. They gave us a table of contents with no number pages. So this is a total of 1,255 pages. This thing is huge. Like, if you can, it's massive. The way they've redone it is great. It's that kind of similar to the Batman Beyond Compendium we talked about a while ago. It's that nice, thick, matte, color pop style. Same thing on the pages. They've I don't know if redefined is the word, but retouched up the pages and the artwork and the dialogue bubbles so well. This has got everything in it. If you want to get into the character, if you are a Lobo fan like me, and you've been waiting forever to get this entire run because it's so hard to find it elsewhere, this is it. This thing is selling fast, I will say, though. This thing is selling quick. I got this thing from one of my sellers that I've befriended online, who kind of gives me the drop when things are running out or things are running low. And so I didn't even realize this had come out. And he texted me and he was like, hey, do you not want the Lobo Compendium? And I was like, what Lobo Compendium? And he was like, you didn't see the drop this week? And I was like, no. And I go to the internet and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I said, how many do you have left? And he was like, I've got one of the original cover left, and then I've got like 20 of the variant cover. And this is like the rare exception to where most people aren't wanting the variant cover. Not because it's a bad cover, but like, who doesn't want this Lobo cover, right? So I was like, dude, here, I Zelled him immediately. I was like, I want the original now. And he was like, all right, so he sent it out to me. So yeah, this is awesome. I'm not going to talk too much about the book itself because I already talked about it 3-4 weeks ago. I just wanted to take, more than anything, I wanted to show this off. But I just wanted to take some time to tell y'all to grab this thing. For a compendium being 1,200 pages and being $60 is actually a really good deal. Most omnibuses that are 1,200 pages are like $90 to $100. Yeah. So like, this is a pretty solid deal. I'm actually really surprised that they didn't make this an omnibus, given the size. But yeah, this is just a great pickup. Like I said, if you want, also Lobo is that classic character where like, if you're not a super big DC guy, or you are a DC guy, but you're a classic DC guy and you want something just different, you want a palate cleanser, go get Lobo. He's DC's Deadpool. We were just talking about Deadpool. He's DC's Deadpool. I think he's better than Deadpool. It's not the point.
Whoa.
I know that's a hot take.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. All that being said, yeah, pick this one up, guys. You can get it on eBay. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on your local comic book shops. I don't know if this is in trade right now in print. I don't know. I haven't seen it at any comic book stores, and I check our local comic shops inventory pretty frequently. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I don't know if they're just selling that fast that people haven't gotten them in store yet. But all that being said, go pick you this bad boy up, add it to your shelf, add it to your collection, make it your read this month. Ooh, that was a rough voice crack. That was a very unfortunate voice crack.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Make it your read this month, and that is this week's Read of the Week. Welcome to the final segment. We are back on rotation with the first week of Versus. We're back on Versus. So what we're doing, though, is we've kind of noticed, if you follow the channel, we've been doing Versus for quite a while. We've been doing it longer than any other segment. And we were kind of running dry, kind of just was becoming stale. We wanted to freshen it up. So we have kind of developed a new way of going about it. Like you said at the beginning of the episode, we may be doing this for a while. It's just another option. So if we want to switch it up, we can. But essentially the way this is going to work is, I'll explain it for you if you're not a sports fan. If you're watching and you're not a sports fan, it's very similar to a draft room. So the way this works is, there are no restraints. So in previous Versus segments, we've been like, hey, certain characters you can't pick, it's just overkill. Yeah. No restraints here. There are 5 categories. We'll go through each 5 categories, say our pick. At the end, how this works is we've collected a team. We make an argument for whose team would win. Very similar to a draft, though. You can steal one pick. So at the end of the 5, if Scott wants to steal a pick, he doesn't literally get to steal it, but he takes it off the board. Now I have to pick someone new on the spot. Or it could go the other way, and you don't want to take the pick off the board because you don't know what the next pick's going to be and you don't know what that argument is. Right. So there's some risk to reward ratio with it. But yeah, that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Our first category is team leader.
Yes. Oh, first off, also, he's Team Marvel. I'm Team DC.
Oh yes, I completely forgot.
I have all DC characters. He has all Marvel characters.
We'll switch between whenever we do it like this. We'll switch categories. Essentially, what we did before we started filming was we flipped a coin. He picked DC. Yeah. I got Marvel.
So that's probably next time we do Versus, we'll probably switch it. So, okay, so for our first category, in round 1 of our very first Versus draft.
Who is your pick
It is
for
team
your team
leader. My team leader is Batman. For
Batman.
obvious reasons. He's a perfect leader. He's a leader in the Justice League. I don't really think I need to explain it that much. My team leader is Batman. So.
Okay, yeah, good pick. My team leader is the Black Panther.
Okay.
Picking the Black Panther because obviously he's led a nation. He's led the Avengers at points in time, and he's pretty freaking sweet. He brings an entire army with him. He brings unreal technology, unreal knowledge of the technology, and he's also an expert strategist and fighter. So yeah, Black Panther is my team leader.
Okay.
For our second category, it is a tactician / tech.
Yeah.
Who is your second
So
pick?
yeah, for tactician, it's like either you can have someone who's really good at strategy, really good at technology, or some kind of combination of both. And mine is actually Brainiac 5 from the Legion of Superheroes. So he's a 12th level intellect.
Oh, you're talking about the one from the new...
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's a 12th level intellect. He has the ability to create force fields and go back in time. And he's actually a really good hand-to-hand fighter. He's gone toe-to-toe with Superman at times.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Okay, all right. So my tactician,
Okay.
similar to yours, is I do have a caveat here to make things fair because I'm not going overboard with it. I'm using just his mind, not using his comic book powers all the way through. I picked Doctor Strange.
Okay.
So I'm using Doctor Strange based off the we talked about previously.
So because of the fact that we're not doing a magic system character, is this just like he's going to be sitting in a room telling them what to do kind of thing?
So more so similar to Brainiac, where it's like, if you were to read the comics, he's got powers that could kill the entire world.
Right.
Doctor Strange has powers that. So I'm not talking about where you watch Multiverse of Madness. No, I'm talking about like 1990s Doctor Strange. Like he's got some powers. He can fight a little bit. He can do a certain thing here or there, but he's super smart and he's a really good tactician. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about MCU Doctor Strange. No.
Okay.
Yes.
All
so then for your third category,
Team Muscle is our third category.
Yes.
So this is just brute. Mine is Superman.
mine's Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah, Hulk.
All right. So then for our fourth category, we have utility. So this is just, think of it as a mid-tier superhero character that they're not super crazy powerful, but they're not street level, and you kind of just like what they add to the team. That's kind of what we mean by utility. So for my utility character, I have Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond. That's my utility character.
Okay.
So,
That's a solid
reason
pick.
why, obviously he's not as powerful as the original Batman. I was trying to find like a Batman.
You're going a little Batman heavy on this list.
Yeah,
Huh?
well, I mean, I got DC. I'm going to use it to the best of my ability. But I didn't want to choose like Nightwing, Red Hood, or something like that. I think Batman Beyond is a good fit for that because of the fact that he is still Batman level at fighting and all of that, but he also has the technology aspect, so it's kind of like a nice blend of both.
Yeah.
But he's also not like... He's not a tactician like Batman is. He's not a team leader like Batman is. But like he's just kind of right
He's a
there.
street kid who can throw hands.
Yes.
With some
So
cool
that's
tech. Yeah.
why I chose Terry McGinnis. So anyway,
My utility character is the Punisher.
Punisher.
The Punisher, for obvious reasons.
Yes.
If I need someone at long range to keep distance, if I need someone to go in there and dismantle somebody with his grown man hands, he can.
Man hands, yes.
So yeah, obvious reasons, the Punisher.
Okay.
So then for this fifth category, for some context, it's technically villain, but it's not just any villain. It has to be a villain who has either in his past lore fought for the side of good or fought for justice, or
Right.
is someone like a Captain Cold, where he's not inherently a evil man.
He just
he
does
just
bad
breaks the law, but if
Right.
it really came down to brass tacks and the Flash really needed him, would help him.
Right. So like, but also that means, because I know there was a storyline where the Legion of Doom helped the Justice League. That doesn't mean we can use the Legion. of
Yeah,
Doom.
we're not talking like one-offs. We're talking like
Right.
it's a consistent part of their
Yes.
character.
So for my villain character is I have Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, okay. All right, so my villain is Venom.
Venom. Okay.
So
I like that pick.
yes, so that was kind of my sleeper. I thought of that and I was like, I like that. So our draft steals have happened. He stole my villain and I stole his big gun muscle,
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
So who?
I stole Venom from him.
Yes, he stole Venom from me. So who
Yes.
is your replacement for
My
Superman?
replacement is Martian Manhunter.
Okay. So then you're taking it just based off his strength.
Strength and powers, yes, but
Okay, well,
strength-
like I guess I'm more so saying like Like, he could mind control my entire team. Like,
Okay, yeah, well, obviously taking
Yeah,
that part
yeah,
out.
okay,
Just like it would
be.
he could obviously shapeshift into other things.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, all right. So, I guess we could call it a gray villain, similar to a gray Jedi.
Gray villain.
This is why I said you shouldn't have done this, because I had a
Would
good
you choose
backup.
like Apocalypse or something?
No, dude, I chose Flash Thompson Anti-Venom.
Flash Thompson Anti-Venom.
And the Anti-Venom symbiote is just as powerful as Venom.
You just chose a different version of Venom.
No, I didn't. I chose a different symbiote and who's a different character. It's a completely different character.
I mean, I still think my team could win against that.
Okay, give me your pitch.
Okay, so first of all, I have Batman, Brainiac 5, and Batman Beyond all in the same team, which I think that alone, not only with the fighting abilities of both Batman and Batman Beyond, plus their technology, and the 12th level intellect of Brainiac 5, I think that they could easily figure out a way to dismantle and defeat your team. Not only that, I have Martian Manhunter, which is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than Superman, even taking away the mind control.
Well, he's not as strong as Superman.
I know, but he could still go toe-to-toe with Superman and possibly subdue him if he needed to.
Okay.
Despite the fact that he has that. And Mr. Freeze, I feel like, would be a good containment for... I'm not saying he could go toe-to-toe with the Punisher.
Bro, I'm not hearing that. Mr. Freeze Mr. Freeze is getting worked fast.
I just said I feel like he would be a good cleanup character for whatever's left.
Okay, so first of all, you're going off the consistence that your team's going to have a month of prep time.
No, because Brainiac 5 could come up with a plan like that, and Batman Beyond could execute it, plus Martian Manhunter.
Okay, this is true. So first of all, I'll go with your Brainiac 5. Okay, if we're going off 90s comic book Doctor Strange is just as smart as Brainiac 5. So if you want to talk about tactician and IQ and all that, also, Doctor Strange is older and has more experience than Brainiac 5 does. So they're evenly matched in terms of intellect level, and Doctor Strange has been doing it longer. Also, Doctor Strange is stronger physically than Brainiac 5. Obviously, I can't take anything away from Batman in terms of being your team.
If you're doing Doctor Strange, you said without his magic powers, so that's just him as
No.
Strange.
I was talking about, when I'm talking about taking away his magic powers, I mean he can't he can't open the world and send him to hell. But he can still throw hands, where he does the little this thing and throws it and it's like an energy blast, like the basic Doctor Strange stuff.
So Starfire level of powers.
Yeah, basically, a little bit stronger, but yes, basically. Also, Hulk, if Hulk gets his hands on Martian Manhunter, that's going to go really, 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 really bad. Really bad. If Martian Manhunter can keep distance, maybe. The reason Superman's a better fight against Hulk is he's not malleable. Martian Manhunter is malleable. Hulk can...
Wouldn't that in and of itself be a strength for Martian
No,
Manhunter?
not at all. Because if you look, especially if you read World War Hulk, because it's the same idea as Mr. Fantastic. When Mr. Fantastic wraps around the Hulk, he gets angrier, and so he continues to grow to the fact to where he can't hold it anymore.
Yeah, but Martian Manhunter can also go I don't know what the term is, but he can go inside somebody. He can phase through objects and stuff like that. Mr. Fantastic can't.
Okay, I wasn't even going to bring this up because it's a little bit of a loophole. If Hulk gets to a certain point of anger, he emits flames.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
He emits flames.
I wouldn't have chose Martian Manhunter if I had known that.
Well, I wasn't going to tell you that. Utility-wise, I think you got me on utility. I think Terry McGinnis would definitely beat the Punisher. I don't think there's much of an argument there. Even if the Punisher was able to get some long-range shot, Terry's suit's going to protect him on some level. So I really think also, and then with Anti-Venom, if we really want to go there.
Well, I know he's basically a super soldier with the Venom syndrome.
No, I'm not even talking about that. If Eddie Brock just wanted to, or not Eddie Brock, if Flash Thompson wanted to go into the fight and go sick the symbiote on anyone, Batman, Brainiac, Martian, whoever, he can control immediately.
That's why I took Venom out.
That's why I told you don't do that, because I've got a backup who's a completely different character.
It wouldn't have mattered either way, because he would have, if you had Venom, regardless, I was saying, if you take out Venom, then it would have been fine. I wasn't even thinking about Agent Venom.
Dude, you know in all honesty who you really should have taken out? Hulk. Hulk, dude. Marvel doesn't have any other big guns other than Hulk on the hero side. Who am I gonna pick? The Thing?
Oh, I was thinking Juggernaut, but I guess he's
No,
a villain.
dude, not against Martian Manhunter or Superman.
Yeah.
Hulk was the easy pick because that's all
I was
had.
afraid you were gonna choose Juggernaut because he's essentially his whole thing is he's unstoppable.
Oh well, dude, Superman could clock Juggernaut.
No, I agree, but I don't know. So
Go. I just dismantled the whole team, but go ahead and give one last stand, please.
well, because my biggest thing is
Oh, I forgot about Mr. Freeze. Oh no, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. Well, Martian Manhunter, I wasn't even factoring the fact that Hulk could turn into flames.
He emits fire.
Yeah, wasn't even thinking about that. I still think Batman and Batman Beyond and Brainiac 5 would have a chance. I don't think and again, this could just be my ignorance talking, I don't think your Doctor Strange argument holds up against that, but
It doesn't hold up against it. I would agree with you. It doesn't hold up against it, which, by the way, I love Terry. Let's not act like Terry's some phenomenal battle strategist.
no, I'm not saying
he's
he is.
not.
I'm just
So-
saying the fact that he has his mentor on the team.
Yes,
He can
okay.
work
So if
well
you
with
want the argument of Brainiac 5 and Batman, I would agree that doesn't stand.
Yeah.
But if we're just going slot for slot,
Right.
Strange and Brainiac 5 are like this.
Because I do think in
Also, and then even if we're going there, even though Batman's the best strategist in comic books, Black Panther's no slouch.
Right.
He's no slouch.
yeah.
I didn't even use Black Panther. His suit absorbs kinetic energy and bounces it back.
I feel like with the DC team that I chose, I felt like I chose all the wrong characters, honestly.
It's like you chose the poor counterparts.
Because the problem is I was thinking if I chose all the powerful characters, it wouldn't be fair. Because if I would go Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman,
Where would
Aquaman-
you have put Wonder Woman?
probably Tactician, because she's a battle strategist. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That would have been unfair.
Well, yeah, but that's like me picking that'd be like me going Namor. It's like okay,
For
all right.
what?
For tactician, tactician, dude. It's
Namor's
like
not a tactician.
he's the king of the seven seas. Yes, he is. He's Aquaman in Marvel.
Oh, I didn't realize he had an army.
Yeah, dude,
I
he's
didn't know
Aquaman
he
of
was-
Marvel.
okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
he had
he's
an army.
Aquaman of Marvel. If anything, he's not better than Aquaman, but he's more violent than Arthur is.
Well, I know, but like when I say tactician, because of the fact that she's so incredibly skilled at combat and she's able to like dismantle people, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get that.
But I'm saying if I chose Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and like Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. Had you taken out Hulk, I would have had a really hard time. Because do you know who my go-to was?
The Thing?
The Thing, dude.
Yeah.
That I was gonna have a hard time with you. That's why when you said Venom, I was like,
Well, because I wasn't even thinking about Agent Venom.
not Agent Venom. Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom is Flash Thompson. Agent Venom is Eddie Brock.
I thought Agent Venom was.
Or no, I'm sorry. Agent Venom is
Agent Venom is Flash Thompson.
It is Flash Thompson, yes, but I'm speaking. There's a Agent Venom and Anti Venom are two different things. There's a run where Flash Thompson, it like when you think of Anti Venom and you go read the comics, 9 times out of 10, Anti Venom is Flash Thompson.
Oh, I didn't know.
Eddie Brock gets Anti Venom for like a time, but like it's 9 times out of 10 Flash.
Because I always thought that Flash Thompson, because didn't he go into the military and he got like
Yes, and he
injured
got
then-
the suit. Yes, but that's what the popular run. But like in the mid 2000s, when the Anti Venoms, like do you remember in the mid 2000s, like Spectacular Spider-Man run when that was super popular, the Anti Venom symbiote?
Yes.
That was all Flash Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. Well, I'm really disappointed because I really thought I was going to win.
We're back. We're back. Oh, that felt good. I got dog walked last versus if y'all watched it, so that felt good. So we're back in the win column.
I'll have to. We're probably going to do the same thing.
We'll
next
do this one
versus.
2 or 3 times in a row. Yeah.
So we'll just switch. So I'll have to make sure that I have. Well, then if we do Big Gun, who am I going to choose? Because you've already done the Hulk.
I don't know.
Other than the Hulk and the Thing.
I mean, I guess you could pick Sentry, but the only reason I didn't pick Sentry is there's a lot of downfalls to Sentry. He's got a lot of vulnerabilities.
Well, anyway, thank you for watching this episode of the Gothic Graffiti Podcast. Let us know what you think about the Deadpool movie, whether you've seen it, whether you've not. Just let us know. If you would, please hit the subscribe bell. We're trying to create a cool community where we can talk about Flash Thompson and Mr. Freeze. And
I still can't believe you picked Mr. Freeze.
I didn't know who else to pick. My original pick was actually Ra's al Ghul. but I didn't.
That would have been a way better pick.
Well, because I thought it was like, is he actually evil or not?
He's yes and no. Like he's
Because I was
actually
thinking-
evil, but to him, to his motivation, it's not an evil motivation. It's a noble cause. At the end of the day, he's just trying to kill criminals. He's not trying to kill normal people.
Right. Yeah, that probably would have.
That would have been a way better pick.
Anyways, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time on the Gothic Graffiti Podcast.